Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for stopping by the channel. So for this video, I wanted to talk to you about the latest collaboration between the watch manufacturer Spinnaker and the watch artist and enthusiast Seconde. And that is their 50 Fathoms. This is the second time they've released this watch around Halloween, and it's a very fun pickup that's been very popular. Now, these are limited edition watches that tend to sell out right away on pre-order, coming in with a retail price of $445 US. And this one is limited to 888 pieces. And for this year, they've done a second version of this watch called the No Apparitions, where the 50 individual ghosts on the dial have instead migrated over to the bezel. So if you're not familiar with the brand Spinnaker, they tend to do some affordable watches. Their dive collection is very popular. This particular case and bezel is known as their Flus diver, and you can actually see it very much pays homage to a Blancpain 50 Fathoms. And then when you combine that with the artist Seconde, who's known for taking the seconds hand off of vintage watches and doing some cool artist designs, and then even doing some designs to the dial of the watches, you get the 50 Phantoms. So for this year, they've actually individually done 50 Phantoms onto the dial of this particular model, and they're individually lumed, which is a really cool feature. And the use of luminova is prominent throughout the watch and some of the accessories that you get. I'll quickly touch on that, but then I also wanted to explain why I picked up this watch after the hype of Halloween was over. But let me quickly go over the specifications for this particular timepiece. This year's Flus case is an even 40 millimeters, so a very nice universal size. Flipping the watch to the side, lug to lug between my thumbs comes in at 46.8 millimeters. I measured the overall height at just a hair over 12 millimeters. That's from the bottom of a screw down case back with a see-through display window for the movement, and then to the top of a boxed sapphire crystal that does have some blue anti-reflective treatment on the underside. Also mentioned that between the lugs is an even 20 millimeters. You're getting a nicely supplied purple rubber strap to go with this particular watch. You can see that the strap is signed Spinnaker on the underside with quick release spring bars. Underneath the buckle it even says Boo, which is a really fun touch. And then for the limited edition release, some of the goodies include a secondary strap. This is a purple leather strap with white contrast stitching. I believe that white stitching is also lumed. And to take advantage of all the lumed elements, they give you a UV torch, also signed Spinnaker here. So using the torch, you can kind of see how some of the lumed elements come into play, which I'll quickly discuss now. One of the cool features is that nestled between the 4 and 5 o'clock position in invisible ink, it does say 31 as a ghost date, which of course denotes Halloween on October 31st. Of course, all of the individual ghosts are lumed. Our applied hour markers and the handset is lumed, as well as this bezel insert, which again has very much of a design of a bezel from a 50 Fathoms from Blancpain. Nice coin edge to it as well, and it's covered in a K1 mineral glass, but the bezel insert, again, is also fully lumed. It's not particularly long-lasting or potent lume, but they were able to give you a lot of different colors of lume on the dial, with particular attention done to those individual ghosts. Now, below the 50 Phantoms printing, you'll also note the ghost depth rating of 2 meters or 6 feet, a reference to being 6 feet under when you're buried. This watch actually has 150 meters of water resistance with a screw down crown with the Spinnaker logo. And then taking a look at the case back, you can see that it's screwed down and it runs a Miyota 9 series movement, which is a nice upgrade from last year. This is the Miyota 9039. It runs at 4 Hertz with just over 40 hours of power reserve. You get hacking and hand winding, and keeps accurate time for this particular example, and I think matches the price point very well. Going back to the bezel, let's take a listen to the action. It's actually a tight bezel, but nice ratchet to it, and in terms of alignment, I think it lines up with the mint markers very well, actually. So I'm quite happy with that. And in terms of case finishing, nice horizontal brushwork to the sides of the lugs, some high polish on the signed crown, polished transitional bevel line before you get to the hoods of the lugs, which is done in a nice satin finish. So for the price point, I do think it's a good pickup. Now, I did actually miss the boat on the pre-order, though Spinnaker does claim that they're going to do another batch of this watch if the demand is there, and it's going to be a non-limited version, but it won't be out until about the first or second quarter of next year. So now I want to briefly discuss on why I picked up this watch. For me, I just wanted something a little bit fun in my collection because I have a lot of serious watches, and this kind of breaks up that, and it's also a very good conversation starter. Now, on the note of picking one up on the secondary market, I will say that any watch is only worth what you're willing to pay. There are some flippers out there that are asking more than 1,000 Canadian dollars for this particular timepiece, and if you can live with that, then that's up to you. I found one from another local watch enthusiast who ended up picking up both models on the pre-order, and for whatever reason, he didn't really bond with it, so I was actually able to pick this up in like new condition. So for me personally, I can live with paying more than retail for picking up a watch that just has a lot of really cool design elements in it. And again, it's more of a conversation starter for me. I will say my daughter is a toddler and is really into ghosts, so it's a fun, playful element for her and I to spark up a conversation as well. And personally, I'm interested to see if they continue this collaboration for future Halloweens. Now, as always, I'd love to know your personal thoughts on this release from Spinnaker and Seconde. And if you do enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. I do think that this watch might be worth the hype, even after Halloween has ended, but again, it might be a little bit polarizing to some people that are out there. So thanks for sticking around to the end of the video, and I can't wait to catch you guys in the next one.